How does small business move forward in these historic times? Well, to find out the answers today, we're going to go to the most huggable business on earth. It's one of Canada's great small business success stories, and we're going to say hello to Jim Gilbert, Canada's huggable car dealer. And Jim, I know that you and your team have really responded quickly, but tell us a little bit about how you and your whole huggable crew is moving forward out there in Fredericton, New Brunswick, because I know you're not stopping.
Well, Gare, I would thank you for having me actually doing this Zoom conference, because every little piece and nugget and every little anything that can kind of help us out and bring us more excitement and focus is good. I'm glad you're doing this for a lot of your businesses and a lot of your tech businesses. Here's where I'm going to start. Today is not about giving up. Today is about getting up. And that's where the mindset has to be. There has never been a time, Gare, so easy to give it up and blame it on everything else. I've been 41 years in business, and there's many times I felt like giving up, and there's always a good excuse. There has never been a better excuse than today. And I hope people and businesses don't fall prey to the give it up. It's not, you worked hard, and today is about getting up. Today is about figuring a new way to do it. Today's about making it last. Like I reflected yesterday on 41 years ago, I started a business. I started with one car, 2 gas pumps, and a $10,000 loan from my father-in-law. And it was a loan at the bank he signed for. And in 1 year, he got his name off the loan. In 41 years, we built up quite a business. Well, today, we're theoretically almost starting over again. But we're starting over with 41 years of experience. We're starting over with a team that supports us. We're starting over with people that know how the business is run and been there with you. So where I was 41 years ago and starting out, and it wasn't easy. We can look at today and say it's not easy today either. And I understand some businesses have they was closed and they can't open, but there's stuff we can all do, closed or not closed, to make tomorrow better. And so today we're starting over again with 41 years experience and a great team behind us and a lot of support. So as bad as the time is, there's never been a better time to start over.
I love what you just said, Jim, about how it's not about give up, it's get up. And in that spirit, I'm wondering about how, the opportunity to learn. You're telling me just before we went on, you're learning new video technology. You're 62 years old and you're learning more than you ever did. And I think that's one of the great gifts of this whole situation is you have a chance to improve your skills in anything now.
Well, I think, and this is really, I hope this is more than a business owner. This is everybody. The retail industry took the biggest hit here because salespeople have been sent home. They're not allowed to sell them. They can't have an interaction. So one of the biggest hits has been, when I say sales, I'm talking about the restaurant industry. I'm talking anything that's public to public. They're gone, like they had to go home. That's the way it was. All my salesmen had to go home. I didn't make that decision. The government of New Brunswick made that decision. What I want to put out to everybody that's home, that is in the face-to-face business, and it doesn't matter really if you're at a restaurant, if you're selling a car, if you're selling shoes. What are you doing today to make yourself better with the time you have, so that when we do get back, because the sun's going to shine again. And when the sun shines again, what are you doing to make sure that you're better off? So when I say this, is and I'm going to use Wheels and Deals for an example, because I am going to, I'm hoping my sales team that is home, not through their own choosing, I hope they're building on their trade, because if you're a salesman for 10 years, my question is, are you a salesman with 1 year experience 10 times or 10 years experience? Well, right now, really, unfortunately, you got nothing else to do. The internet is full. You can Google, like I Googled something yesterday I was looking at, I want to know how to do a voice on an recording on an iPhone. I Googled in, had your voice record an iPhone. iPhones actually have voice recorders in them. And there's sales tapes out, not tapes, but the YouTube is full of free stuff. What this is an opportunity, is not the best opportunity we wanted. We certainly didn't want it, but let's make ourselves better for when the sun does come out. We're going to be there and we're going to do better, because it's going to take everybody giving 110% to get us through the next year when this ends.
You've also done some things in addition to improving your own skills with video editing and mixing and sound. You've also done some real leadership things, Jim, in terms of, like, for instance, you were telling me just the other day, like, you're not taking a penny for the rest of the year. You're working on no salary. You figured out some job sharing things. Tell us a little bit about what you think the role of the CEO, the leader, is right now, because this, has been described as the difference between a peacetime and a wartime CEO.
Well, a peacetime CEO works on their business. Like, once we was taught to work on our businesses, we were able to grow our businesses. I think today we got to work in our businesses and lead from the center. Like, it's going to take leadership, and it's not going to take leadership from sitting in an office wherever they're giving orders. It's going to take leadership from being hands-on, involved, and not scared to get your hands dirty with your people. Like, you got to jump in the trenches, pick up a shovel, and the leader actually has to shovel the most dirt. When we're working on our business, we do look and pay people to do a lot of the lifting, where we do a lot of the thinking. So, as for me, yes, back in April, or back in March, the middle of March, when I realized that, this isn't good. The first thing, I went into my CFO, and I said, okay, stop paying me for the money that I take out for my business transition over to the kids. We got to stop that expense right now. And as we go through expenses, we have to look at, okay, what don't we need today? And when we belonged to tech, we was always taught a lot of stuff. And one thing was, like, a lot of businesses make decisions when they're on their deathbed that could have saved them if they would have made them 6 months earlier. Well, I don't think we're on our deathbed. Some people are saying some businesses might not make it, but I don't think the majority are on our deathbed if we can get up and going pretty soon. But we got to make the decisions as if we're on our deathbed. And then when we open up and reopen and re-get the economy moving in hopefully 15, 30 days, we're going to be stronger businesses. Maybe cash flow wise, we're going to be weaker, but we're going to be stronger business coming out of it. And as for you talked about our staff. So I'm going to go through real quick here what we did. So the middle of March, or towards the third week of March, there's an issue. Everybody's scared. Panic was through our business. Panic was through the streets. Panic's through everywhere. And we said, okay, we're going to shut down for a week. We're just shutting down. Like, we don't know what's next. We had no idea. We shut down. We told everybody, okay, we're closing her up. Go home. And we took the decision at Wheels and Deals. We're going to pay everybody for their full week's pay. Nobody's finances are going to change this month. So we got that through to everybody. And I think we was able to really, that was good leadership. It calmed everybody down. Everybody got a week to think about where their future they might want to be. Then we would, on Thursday or Friday, we contacted everybody, said, okay, with the COVID directives, we do have work in our shops because our shops part were allowed to be open, our parts were allowed to be open. What parts of our business can still operate in a limited capacity? And then we went to everybody and said, okay, you can, through COVID, you can be laid off. Like right now, you don't have to come back. If you got any concerns, you're not, you're nervous about coming to work, here's your opportunity. We let it be up. It was their own decision. So out of a staff of about 25 or so, we had 3 or 4 that said, hey, I want to stay home. I don't want to come to work no more. And that was a decision they could make. Then we went to the rest of our staff, said, okay, what's your decision? And they want to work. They did want to come to work. They want to help us through this. So it's okay. We're going to go with a limited number in the building, and we figured out ways for everybody to get paid their full pay, and we used some holidays in there. We was going to go to job sharing, but that's not available right now. So we said, everybody's got 2 or 3 weeks holidays. Why don't I pay you for 4 days? You come in and you take 1 day holiday, and we'll do this for April, and then limited the amount of people in our building. So everybody that decided they would prefer to work than go on a government funding assisted program is getting a full week's pay in their paycheck. They work 4 days. I pay 4 days. 1 day's a holiday day.
And you're telling me also the team spirit is coming together even more.
Well, the people were so relieved because, the easy way out for people too is, hey, I could stay home and get $500 a week. It's great, but it's not an easy way out because people were making $800, $1,000, $1,200, got bills to go along with that. So they was so like it was just such a relief to these people that, oh my God, I'm still going to be able to somehow get my full pay and make it through. So for the month of April, everybody that decided they'd rather be working than sitting home is getting a full week's pay. We had to make sure that there was some give and take. And then we'll revisit at the end of April, like as the government directives come on and what we can do and allowed to do, will play into our future. But we got to say, let's keep it going. Let's keep everybody's, I don't want to see none of my people in a financial difficulty if there's anything I can do. And fortunately, we had enough mechanic work and enough parts sales and stuff. Now, the easiest thing for Wheels and Deals to gear was shut down, because shutting down reduced my biggest expense, which is my staff. But staying open, I think, was the best thing we could do because it helped our staff through it. And we built up a strong business. If we have to go a month or two and show the December and January losses and March, April, May, we will, but we're going to get through this, and we're not going to give up. And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to be there for our team.
Jim, you've made friends all over North America, different parts of the world. Canada's Huggable car dealer has always been, you and I've known each other for almost 20 years. I wanted to show you this because I know you and Donna have been in the trenches from the beginning. And ever since Huggable as a concept was created way back in 2006, I know that there's been a generosity of spirit. I just had to throw this in for you today because I know you didn't see it coming. But everything you've done, the hundreds of teddy bears, the mascots, the merry-go-rounds, the nature trail to go walk your dogs. It's almost like Walt Disney himself created. If Walt Disney had imagined to use car lot, this is what it was like. But the point is, Jim, is that you've always stayed on the high road, always thought positive. But what's happening now is this is really being impacted in social media. And so, we're on each other's feeds, and I see some people making terrible mistakes on social media. I see some CEOs even self-sabotaging their companies and their brands just with some of the commentary that just adds to the fear and negativity. But you've really gone another route, and you're seeing the impact of how much care and attention on social media really does matter in these times.
Well, Garrett, you're so right. Like right now, it's polarizing. That the hate is coming out, the love is coming out, and it's like the first Canadian, or the first People's Canada. You know, an Indian chief says to his son about the eagle, the wolf on the shoulder, right? There's two wolves on your shoulder. You know, one is hate, one is love. Which one's going to win? You know, the great Indian chief said to his son, he said, the one that you feed the most. So I think feeding the loved one is good at all times, and even more important at this time. And, you know, like here, I received a Facebook message the other day, and it meant a lot to me too, because when I read it, I'm thinking, okay, the person that gave it to me, it meant a lot to him, but you know how they say whatever you give, you actually benefit more? And I think this might have benefited me more than the person that actually wrote it. It says, "Hi, Jim." This was a Facebook Messenger. "Something you may find funny happened to me today. I was just thinking about throwing a rant onto Facebook about how all of the money that our government has given away to other countries, etc., prior to this pandemic could have really helped us now. Basically, Trudeau bashing. I think you're rubbing off on me. For some reason, I thought about you. I didn't post it. Let's be positive, live in the good. As you would say, give a hug. Life here on earth is too short to live in the negative. Just thought I'd let you know that the things that you and your family put forth is seen. Thanks." You know, like if you change that one person, it was all worth it. But when I read that, you know, it's easy. Like, hey, I'm not perfect. And I have my views and thoughts, and maybe say too much, but not on social media. But I needed to hear that. And so the person that I helped when he thought of me, he helped me when he read back my own stuff to me. And so it was a win-win for both of us. And I think it means so much, you know, let's be positive, live in the good. And as we would say, give a hug, you know, virtual hugs now. But air hugs, I guess, we give air hugs. But life's too short. It's not, you know, like I heard a great speaker, actually, the President of the United States, and John F. Kennedy. It's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. I think today it's not what your country can do for you. And it might not even be what you can do for your country. It's what you can do for you. Like, what can you do for you that your country doesn't have to pay for, that your neighbor doesn't have to pay for? Like, we can all do more for ourselves. And I think that's been proven. Globalization, we've been all talking about, maybe it's failed us here. So what can we do for us to make us all better? Like, let's take it upon our own shoulders, and let's you know, like let's, John Fogerty, you know, his song, you know, beat the drum and hold the phone. The sun came out today. We're born again. There's new grass on the field. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. 41 years business. I'm going to be 63 next month. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. And
you know what, Jim? I think that's so well said. And there you are in the shadows of Royals Field in Marysville, New Brunswick. And we all want baseball to come back. Like I said, you've got the most huggable business on earth. And I love what you just said about how that Facebook message, you know, positivity from you bred positivity and something else. And why couldn't positivity be contagious? I look at, you know, the words behind you in your boardroom, and like I say, you've always been filled with positivity. And I think you said it well. There's no time like right now to make a difference, especially to improving your own game and getting ready to be put in but also the game you can play within your community.
Here, when I say this in the most positive way, the media's job is to sell fear, and that's how they get paid. And then don't bash them over it. Our job as people, our job as leaders is to sell hope. And today, I'm glad I'm out here with the opportunity to sell hope. You know, like John Fogerty said, put me in, coach. I'm going to sell some hope. We're going to look after our people. We're going to look after what we can. We're going to help out where we can. And we're going to get through this because it's the Canadian way.
Well, and that's very, very well said. Jim Gilbert, he is Canada's Huggable car dealer. He runs the most huggable business on earth. They're pulling together. They're finding new ways to adapt, to pivot, and hopefully this is just another example of how every one of us, no matter which community we live in, no matter which community we're a part of, how we can all lead together in these historic times.